Hey guys, Brian here from Vintage Classic Specialists. Happy Monday to everyone. Hope everyone's week is off to a good start. I know ours is here in the shop. So it is time for another episode of Day in the Life of Vintage Classic Specialists, where we talk about what we did here in our little VW restoration shop. So today we worked on this 66 Beetle, this 69 Bus, and the 65 Beetle, Rafa and I. So let me go ahead and go into a little bit of detail here on what we actually did. So Rafa focused on the 69 Bus today, and as you can see, if you're a regular around the channel at least, you'll notice this, is that this bus now has front doors on it. So that's kind of a big deal because it's starting to look more like an actual vehicle now instead of a big hollow box. So yeah, I went ahead and installed the doors, lined them up. Gaps are looking good, which of course Renee, our paint and body guy, took care of before we painted it, which is the right time to set gaps. So yeah, those are looking good. And Rafa went ahead and restored and installed the mechanisms here and the remotes, the inside levers here basically, and got that all working. And then he also worked a little bit on the sliding door, the cargo door here. So you can see, got some components of it on here and back here and here, various pieces of that mechanism. Quite a bit more complicated than earlier buses that just had two doors that swung out and latched in the middle. So this one, of course, slides along the bus here. So lots of stuff going on, lots of parts. As I was discussing the other day, Volkswagen just kept making these vehicles more and more complicated as the years went on, and Baywindow buses are no exception when you compare those to their earlier brethren here. But yeah, let's see what else he did. So he also worked a little bit on the rear hatch here, these little, guide wedges, I guess you'd call them, that go on the sides there. Got those on. And so, yeah, I mean, it doesn't really sound like much that he did, but, it's a matter of going and cleaning and restoring all these mechanisms here, making sure they're all working good. Cleaning and clear coating usually is what we do on these kind of rods like this, so they stay nice for the rest of eternity. Getting things all working nicely, greasing things, etc., stuff like that. So very time consuming to put a car like this together. It sounds like you just bolt a bunch of parts together like it's, like you're just snapping Lego pieces together, but it's never that simple. Here's another little thing he did, is these little rollers here for the prop for the deck lid. So those were actually used on later split window buses and then carried on into Baywindow buses. So I think those are kind of the main things. Rafa had a little bit of a short day today. He came in a little bit later than usual. And then he picked up, let's see, tomorrow he's picking up parts. Came in a little bit late today, and then he did also help me on this car a little bit today. So that's a good segue to this one. If you saw Saturday's episode where I talked about this car, this 65 Beetle, that the owner had mentioned to me that it was losing brake fluid and wasn't really sure where that was coming from. He was having to periodically add brake fluid, which is of course never a good thing. And so Saturday I started looking at the brake system on here, and I found one leaking rear wheel cylinder. So on Saturday, I replaced both rear wheel cylinders and put new shoes on it, because on the side that had a leaky cylinder, of course, the shoes were all soaked. So it's best at that point to just swap on new ones. So today I continued investigating the brake system on this car. I pulled the front wheels off and checked the front wheel cylinders, and they were in great shape, no signs of leaking there at all. However, the master cylinder itself, so this car still has drum brakes all the way around. And I have to say, these brakes are amazing on this car. The brake pedal is very touchy on this car. If you're not used to it and you tap the brakes a little too hard, you're pretty much sending yourself through the windshield. I don't think I've ever felt a pair of drum brakes that were quite as sensitive as these. Anyway, so yeah, as I had the wheel and tire off here on this side to check the cylinder, or check the wheel cylinders, of course I also checked the master cylinder. And so this single circuit master cylinder, on these they have like a little plug in the top where the hard line comes into it from the reservoir, which sits up here. So a little rubber line and then a hard line, and then the hard line goes into that little plug. And anyway, it was leaking around that little plug there where the hard line goes in from the reservoir. And so that was probably the main source of the leak. So I cleaned up that whole area up underneath there where it had been leaking, got rid of all the, any brake fluid that had been kind of dripping around in there, and then simply replaced the little grommet in the top of the master cylinder. And then Rafa and I bled the brakes on it. 2-person job, of course. We do it the old school way where one person is, pumping the brakes, and then the other person is cracking loose the brake bleeders with a little hose attached on it. Old school. But anyway, so yeah, we went ahead and bled all 4 brakes after I replaced the grommet on the master cylinder, and then previously having done the 2 wheel cylinders. So yeah, brakes are done on here. They feel great. I did also on Saturday, another thing the owner said was that it had been leaking a little bit of oil from the valve covers. So I went ahead and had gone ahead and reinstalled those and sealed them up a little bit more. And then the only other thing he wanted was, he mentioned wanting some back seat belts for the rear seat. So I ordered those. Those will be in tomorrow from Wolfsburg West. And then I think this car will be ready to go. So this one will probably only be in the shop another day or two, depending on when he is able to pick it up. But putting the, the seat belts in the back seat should be the last thing. So anyway, that is it for this one. So let's talk about the beautiful pearl white 66 over here and see what happened on this one today. So one of the things that happened is that I went ahead and installed the rubber floor mats, which are of course correct for this car. And so, yeah, it's not really a whole lot to talk about here, but as they come, you have to cut the holes in them for the emergency brake and then for the shifter. And they have kind of like a little mark on them where those go. The only thing is that the little, it's like a very faint line kind of molded into it. The line for this area here for the e-brake is, I guess, for like it's for an earlier car that doesn't have these levers and stuff on here. So you have to kind of modify the cutout a little bit. And we actually have a little template that we use to cut this to shape for a later car that has this kind of bulkier setup here versus the earlier one that's just a little thin section here for the e-brake handle. But anyway, yeah, we have a little template. So line the template up, cut that out very carefully with a razor, and then put it in. And then of course a boot goes over this whole thing as well. And then likewise, there's like a little faint line molded into it. You just pretty much cut that circle there and then drop it over the gear shift lever. The other thing is that this car, he was missing the footrest, which is this piece here that forms like a angled footrest for the passenger, so they have something comfortable to rest their feet against there. And he was missing that, so got that, cleaned it, painted it, and installed it. And then, yeah, pretty much the mats went in. Only other thing is that somebody, the owner, I suppose, had installed Dynamat under where the rear mats go, but there was nothing installed for the front ones. So I installed this one that we use is not called Dynamat, it's called Z-Mat. It's basically the same thing. Anyway, went ahead and made pieces and installed those for where the front mats go. So that's nice and deadened now, sound wise. And then, yeah, installed these mats and looking good. So not quite ready to put the seats in here yet. I'm probably going to hold off a little while on that. But again, if you follow the channel, you know that the seats are done. So there's the bottoms of the bottoms of the front seat, the back seat, and then the backrests of the front seats are in the little office over here, which again we're converting to our little upholstery shop. Anyway, so floor mats happened on here today, and then I went ahead and so this remote, which is, or the rod here for this remote, was not actually connected to the door mechanism here, or it was, but there didn't seem to be the little E-clip on it that holds it on there. And I was testing this out, and then all of a sudden it stopped working, and I sort of looked down in here and saw that the end of this rod had fallen off the door mechanism there. So pulled that all out and installed a little E-clip on it, and then got it working again. And then this is pretty much what we do to prevent these rods from rattling, is we just install a little piece of carpet. We have tons of scraps of German square weave carpet around here, so that's what we use. Basically glue it on here, and that prevents this rod from vibrating against the inner skin of the door here. So you can see when you close it now, you don't get that metallic sound that you did before. So likewise, installed that on the other side too. So the next thing here is going to be to start building out the doors. And so on that note, his vent wings were a bit of a mess. They had some broken rivets on them, and they're pretty ugly and so on. So I finished disassembling those. His little rain gutters here were bent up, straightened those out, and then did my best to kind of clean and polish up the frames here. They're not the best ones that I've ever seen before, but they are original, and I think once they're on the car, they're not really going to look too bad. So this is where these deep scratches are. At least that's inside the car. The portion that's outside the car also has some light scraping on it, but I don't think it's really going to be terribly noticeable once the windows and everything are in and these are installed. But likewise for the inner vent window frames, they cleaned up pretty good. I think they're going to look okay once they're installed. And again, you know, they're original, so that's kind of cool, even if they are like a little scratched up and stuff. But yeah, so probably tomorrow, I think I have everything now. I'm going to go ahead and assemble these the rest of the way, press the glass into them. And I think at that point, pretty sure if memory serves me, I have everything that I need, all the felt, the scrapers, etc. So tomorrow I may go ahead and build the doors on this one. So that would actually be a pretty big step, because it's a pretty big job. Building a couple doors like that takes the better part of a day at least. Not like a full day, but half a day-ish, give or take, especially when you include assembling the vent wings, pressing the glass onto their frames and so on. That's actually a pretty big job. So probably be working on that a good portion of tomorrow. And Rafa is going to continue working on the doors and so on the Baywindow Bus here for a few days. Try and get this puppy or get it, getting it moving along here. So that is it for today, guys. So thank you everyone for watching, and we will see you again tomorrow. Bye.